students! Welcome to this video on the Khmer Empire, also known as the Angkorian Empire. And when we're looking at this group, we are thinking geographically they're in Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, South Vietnam, aka South Asia. And the time period that the Khmer Empire was around was about 802 CE to around 1431 CE. And I know it seems specific for me to be guesstimating, but when it comes to the ruins, you'll kind of understand once we get a clearer picture of this. So the Khmer Empire did have a caste system, and this is a system where institutionally you have people at the top, and you have people at the middle, and then you have people at the very bottom. Side note, so with Buddhism and, well, not Buddhism, but with Hinduism and Buddhism, you are seeing this cycle of rebirth as part of the foundation of the religion. But in Hinduism specifically, you are seeing this idea that your past life or your past incarnation affects your current life. So if you were a terrible person who kicked puppies in your last life, you were probably reborn into a lower caste. And that is your punishment for being a terrible person in the previous life. So if you're in the lower caste, you deserve it. And therefore, you should be treated terribly. And if you want to not be treated terribly, you need to just hope for the next life to be better and for your karma to get better. So nothing you can do in this life except hope the next life is better. Buddhism is this idea that existence is suffering and that people just continue to try to escape the cycle of reincarnation by growing closer and closer to enlightenment and become one with just basically the universe. That is like the simplest way that I could explain Buddhism. Anyway, so religion for the Khmer Empire is the foundation of their society. And we don't really know so much about the roles of women from the Khmer Empire. A lot of what we know has been preserved through temple writings and their bas reliefs. So when it comes into their politics, again, we don't know like a huge amount of information, but what we do know is they had the coolest blending of Hindu and Buddhist ruling. They originally started off as a Hindu empire, and they gradually moved towards more Buddhist empire. That actually caused them to destabilize, and in the long run, led to their downfall. So the Hindu hierarchy that kept the order was destabilized by the time they became fully Buddhist. Anyway, interactions with the environment. Angkor Wat is significant enough to be listed twice in our notes. Woo! So Angkor Wat is one of the things they're known for is the bas reliefs, and that is carving into the stone so that what you see as like art kind of sticks out. And if you look up pictures of Angkor Wat, then you'll see exactly what I mean. So you carve into the rock to make like your line work, and then your details kind of pop out. Additionally, they were really well known for industrializing the land. They were phenomenal engineers, and they actually created straight roads. That is so hard to do. So the fact that they were able to do that from Angkor, their capital, was like insane. So they were straight as a pin. Angkor was actually originally created as a temple for the god Vishnu, and it was also kind of like a side hustle for one of the princes who helped build it, and it was supposed to be like the temple for his death, and for him to have like a final resting place. It's mostly though known as like that temple for Vishnu. Additionally, some of the practices that they did culturally back then, like including dance, they still practice parts of that in Cambodia nowadays. It's not like a predominant part of their culture. Like it's not like Puck Talk or like that ball game was for the Mesoamericans, but it was significant enough that parts of it still remain today. Continuing into economics. So the Khmer Empire was actually the industrial urban center of the world. Like this thing was the biggest industrial place in the world. And if you'll pardon me, that was the point in my video where I lost balance with my phone. And so we can continue our notes in my second part 2 video. So it was the industrial urban center of the world. Going into technology, these guys were, I cannot state this enough, they were engineering excellent, excellent people. There we go. So they were very talented with building stuff and designing stuff. Additionally, their bas reliefs, which again, carving into stone, carving into rock, they were able to do that with extreme levels of detail. So that was really innovative for them. When we're looking at where the Khmer Empire was on a map, I'm not certain if you can kind of see it very well, but if you look north, you'll see China, and then going a little bit to the east, you'll see Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Champa, and Malaysia is to the south, along with the South China Sea and the Gulf of Siam. So this is kind of where it's placed on the map. So that finishes our lecture on the Khmer Empire. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.